If you watch the entire Dexter series like I have, you know that everyone hates the ending. And rightfully so. It's horrible. Even Jennifer Carpenter, the actress who plays Deborah, hates it.
But to see him go to Seattle and start being a lumberjack, my apologies, but I don't know where the hell that came from,
So why do people hate the ending? I think it's for two main reasons. 1. Dexter was already declining in quality. There's some graphics out there that show how Dexter was holding steady ratings until the last episode, but I'd argue the quality really started to fall after season 5. I mean, we had villains like Travis Marshall, trash like Hannah McKay, and lames like Lewis Green. We didn't have events or villains that challenged Dexter in ways we haven't seen before. For instance, in season 6, we see Travis Marshall and his teacher James Geller seek to end the world based off the Book of Revelation. They leave graphic displays all over Miami. At one point, we see Dexter find Travis and falsely believes he's under the control of James Geller. This is my main problem. Since Dexter believes Travis is harmless and is simply under the control of James Geller, Dexter tries to reason with Travis instead of unaliving him. The problem with this is that we saw him essentially do the exact same thing in prior seasons. He should have realized through his experiences with Arthur Mitchell that when he delays the unalivement of somebody, the higher the risk of something bad happening. We saw this with Rita. In season 6, the same thing almost happens with Harrison, Dexter's son. And you could argue that Travis didn't fit the code because Dexter thought he was being controlled by Geller, but I'd say he should have turned him into the police if he thought that. There's other things as well. I think a lot of the storylines after season 5 were pretty lackluster. The whole storyline with Lewis Green not liking Dexter because he thought his video game was bad, Dexter becoming friends with brother Sam and unaliving Nick was boring, and the whole twist of James Geller being deceased the entire time with Travis being the mastermind behind it all fell flat for me. And that's just season 6. I could go on, but I'll stop it there. 2. The finale didn't bring closure. So to sum it up very quickly, this is how Dexter ended. One of the worst villains in the show, Oliver Saxon, shoots Deborah. Deborah suffers a stroke while in the hospital and her brain cannot function without assistance from machines, effectively leaving her in a vegetative state. Dexter realizes that he hurts everyone who comes into contact with him, so he decides to abandon Hand on Harrison and drive into the hurricane that is currently ravaging Miami.
I destroy everyone I love. I can't let that happen to Hannah, to Harrison. I have to protect them from me.
It's shown in the newspaper that Dexter is no longer alive, but it turns out he is alive and is working as a lumberjack in Oregon. For me, this ending didn't work because it doesn't make Dexter pay for any of his sins. He caused so much harm throughout the show and manages to escape all of it. He doesn't get arrested, his real identity of being an unaliver doesn't get exposed, and he faces no consequence for his actions. He's instead left in a weird purgatory state. He's not suffering, but he's not exactly at peace either. So how should Dexter have ended? I'm not a writer, but I think there's some key points that really could have improved the ending. 1. Have Deborah shoot Dexter, not LaGuerta, in the season 7 finale. Have Dexter be wounded, but survive and escape. This is arguably the most important part for the ending to work. We need to have Dexter held accountable and for Deborah to turn on him. It would show that Dexter is now truly a lone wolf with nobody on his side anymore. And if she shoots Dexter, her crashing out in season 8 would still perfectly fit in there. 2. Remove the entire vocal plot and instead have the entirety of season 8 be a manhunt for Dexter's capture. While on the run, I think it would be pretty cool to see Dexter do things that are outside the code to avoid getting apprehended by the police. An example of this would be him destroying that guy in the bathroom after Rita's passing. It could provide another lens on how we see Dexter. The audience is pretty sympathetic to his character, but seeing the things he'd do in the name of self-preservation could make things muddy, but very interesting. 3. Have the original ending that Clyde Phillips wanted. His plan would have seen Dexter be arrested as the Bay Harbor unaliver, and as he was about to be unalived via lethal injection by the state of Florida, he would have seen every person he unalived, both directly and indirectly. I think this ending would have been much better. It brings closure for the audience, it shows how Dexter's plot armor isn't infinite, and it would be pretty poetic to have Dexter see every person he unalived right before he perished. But what do you guys think? Let me know. That's all I have to say for now. Take care.